to share her trauma on an app. Exactly, Tanya. I would rather, if it was a lie, it came out a lie later on. That's fine. Then actually try to draw out a grieving woman and call her a liar. You made that woman relive her trauma. You made that woman produce proof because you think you're something. Who the fuck do you think you are? Either one of you pair of cunts. Evil Queen, Canadian Angie, who the fuck do you think you are? You've got a following on a fucking kids app. Well fucking done. Clap to you. Who the fuck do you ever think you are? That you can withdraw or draw out anybody on this fucking app to share their traumas for your entertainment because you don't believe them. Who do you actually think you are? Thanks, Jordan. Yeah, just mute them all. Oh, sorry, Kirsty. I'll mod you as well, my love. Two seconds. I'm just going to get some mods, guys. Sorry, guys. Thanks. Oh, my leg is falling asleep there. This is exactly it, Kay. Her comments were sickening. And anybody that was in there laughing along with her, you're just as much of an animal. So all your little associates, everybody that sits with Canadian Angie, everybody that sits with Evil Queen, you're all animals. Anybody that thinks that was funny, God forbid you ever have to go through anything in your life, let alone lose a child. Grief of a child. You can't even begin to explain as a mother. And the fact that you apparently have gone through it as well, 3 times. And you think it's okay to draw out another woman and tell her to prove to you what has happened. Do you know what else I actually saw, which actually made me literally come to tears? Literally come to tears, was that someone else had actually put up a video of their own miscarriage loss journey with full effects and everything. It's not one I'm going to show on here because it is so disturbing. It's not, sorry, disturbing. I meant it because it is so, like, you can see everything in it. You can see the odd, like, there was footsteps of it. It was pouring out of her. She had, like, obviously when she went to the hospital and stuff like that. You have triggered so many people on this app that you actually have made people put things up like that to relive their trauma. And you think it's funny. And all of this is because of why? Because you don't like someone else that came for you. Because of the other disgusting things you've done on this app. Because of the disgusting, vile human being that you are. All of this, you have people triggered, traumatized, reliving their stuff. You're baiting out dead children at this point. Is this where we've got to in our lives? Because you hate people. You're literally at the point of you're baiting out deceased children. I want you all to think about that. She doesn't have ADHD. That's bullshit. Telling you now. And I'm about to show you exactly why. This needs to end now. And I mean now. Because the next thing that's going to be on your hands, Evil Queen, is the blood of someone. Because you are a bitter, twisted, vile fuckface. TikTok shop, TikTok shop, TikTok shop, TikTok shop, TikTok shop, TikTok shop. I'm fine, Foofy. I just can't believe that this is where we're sitting now. Like, this is where we're sitting. This is where it's came to. That people sit with this and they think this is okay. This is what disgusts me. And this bitch is not going to be happy. I literally don't think Evil Queen is going to be happy until she has the blood of someone on her hands. I literally don't think she is. Until she has someone, or these enemies and everybody that she has, she's not going to be happy until they are honestly wiped out. You're that evil. You would literally drive someone through grief, through everything. And this is the thing though, ACAR, is that's what it's going to take. So is this where we're getting to now? So what is it going to take to actually get her cancelled? For people to actually wake up and realise this is not it. This is not someone you should ever be associating with. Is it going to take, I don't know, for example, poor Talia to wind up unalived after all this? Is it going to take the next person that she comes or goes into in the app? Who does she go for? Probably Red next. Is it going to take Red to be unalived? Is it going to take whoever else she decides to set her sights on next to be unalived? Wake up. Is this what you want your children to come on and see? All these people that sit with her. Is this really what you want people to experience? Is this what you want? You are happy for someone to be driven to what she's going to be driven to. Mm-hmm. And as I said as well, with Canadian Angie and stuff as well, like, fuck you. Who the fuck are you to question anybody? Mm-hmm. What about you? Where's your proof? Where's your proof you miscarried 3 times? Where's your proof you were even pregnant? Where is it all? Of course she would still get people defending her. Because people are stupid. And this isn't even the first time she's done this. So I have actually got a video we are going to play, guys. This isn't the first time she's done this. She's also been on Facebook and doing this to other people. Just give me 2 moments and I'm just going to get it for you. This is also, I don't know if they're in here, Danny Snow. Again, guys, I am going to put a poll up. In the poll, there is numbers. If you do have to come out, please do at any time. Please do come out. There's also numbers as well. So I'm just going to show you what's happened here. Sorry, guys, my phone's been very stupid. So.
And you can find say, a lot of people can say, well, you're not a woman. It doesn't matter. You want to be a woman. You want to live your life as a woman. Why would a woman do that to another woman? Right? Why? And 6 years down the line, I've carried this for 6 years and it hurts. But I've tried my best to be friendly to you. Even after all of this shit, I've supported you on.
So this was Danny Snow. And these are the comments that Evil Queen thought she could make to her in regards to, I think it was a Facebook hunting community. In regards to a miscarriage. Trigger warning in the chat, please, guys. This is who Chelsea Harwood is. This is who this person is. An animal. You're not even human.
Your lives in the past. Okay, I've tried to be civilized with you because I didn't want to spend the rest of my life being bitter about something someone I've never met said to me on the internet. But when you start again on other people, regardless of how big their following is, it could have been somebody that was a nobody on TikTok that had like 10 people following them, or it could be somebody with thousands and thousands of people that follow them and have a singing career, whatever, who, it doesn't matter.
Sorry, guys, I just got a violation, so I'm just going to reset and come back. So please do come back. I will literally just be 2 seconds. I'm going to reset and come back. But thank you so much for tapping up and everything. Jordan, Maid, etc. They're all my friends off that. So they're my mods. But some people also do extra things because they're mods. Some people may be that they actually get paid to be mods or they get paid to help that person, which is fine. So, but what we're discussing here is the likes of, you've got Evil Kieran coming out, you had all those mods coming out from Mr. M and stuff as well, is basically, as we put it before, which is how far will some mods go for creators? Is it mods or are they cult members? Are they, this is the thing as well though, Jen, are they vulnerable, lonely people? And it does give them a strange sense of worth. I totally agree with that. Or is it that these so-called creators, using in quotations, are they actual cult leaders? Are they creating these little pockets of cults to financially gain, to boost their egos, to, I don't know, become famous on an app?
I feel like some, though, I'm not going to lie, I feel like some mods feel like they're going to get something on the back of it, whatever that may be. So I agree. Like we had this conversation the other day, I feel like when we're talking about supporters, I feel like there's a group that are, we put in the vulnerable part, but there's also then, I think, a group of people that want to be mod because they think it gives them some sort of power, some sort of status, and they can ride on the back of it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I feel like some of them, and I sort of got, I don't know if it was me, but I sort of got the impression that that's what this Kieran was trying to achieve. Like he was there for some purpose of his own. Yes, he went through some dark stages of whatever, and he feels like EQ helped them in some sort of way, but he stayed for some sort of gain for himself. Yeah. And it's only when the tables turned that he decided to walk away, and now he's disagreeing with certain things. There's got to be some of them have some sort of level of, I'm going to gain something on the back of this because I am such and such as mod. People will recognize me. I'm going to be seen all over the app. I'm going to gain some popularity or something along those lines. It can't be
Yeah.
always that we're putting everyone in a vulnerable situation, because guaranteed not every vulnerable person is a mod.
Well, this is what we're saying. So if we take it back, so taking out the first part in regards to religious, spiritual, philosophical, I can't speak today. The definition of a cult is an extreme devotion to a particular person, object, or goal, is another characteristic often described to cults. So we have people that are devoted not only to the person, but also to their goal of becoming on the dailies, becoming popular, winning the weekly rankings. Do you know what I mean? Winning the battles that they do, all that sort of stuff. So,
It's a bragging right,
Yeah.
though, isn't it, Mary? So if you say the person that you follow is number one in the dailies,
I'll change it if you want, Maid. I don't know how to fill it.
you've got a bragging right of then saying, well, I contributed that. I contributed to that. So some of it will be bragging rights as well.
I also feel like sometimes people buy mods. And it's like, I can remember it was ages ago now, but I was watching Angie from the outside and she was basically saying, like, send me this gift and you could be mod for 24 hours. If you send me, like, a uni, you could be mod for a week.
Exactly.
Like, that's crazy. Like, I just think mod should be people that you're close to, that you can trust.
So again, that's referring to like the cult leader thing of that's her gaining financially. That's her, do you know what I mean? Gaining financially to give somebody a little tidbit.
A mod should be someone that you can trust with your platform while you're just going to the toilet. Not someone that's just gifted you a uni.
Yeah. But again, they know how to financially gain from these things.
How
Because
did you do it yesterday, I guess?
Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of mods get, and that has happened to me once. I have literally been in a live and someone was having a battle, and I literally gifted because I was being petty and I didn't want the other person to win, because I didn't really like them. So I gifted them. The next minute, I've been made mod. And it's like, I don't need mod because I don't think I've ever been in that live again. So
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need mod. So I removed the mod status. It was just like me being petty at the time. So people give mod out because they have a gifting badge.
Yeah.
Just because you've mod me doesn't mean I'm going to mod for you or even gift you.
exactly. As Kiki said there as well though, so people, the mods, these creators were modding their biggest gifters to keep them there.
Yeah.
Give them something to make them feel special so they can continue to financially gain from these biggest gifters. Because it's
And
always
keep
a
them
bit
around.
funny. Yeah, and like it's always a bit funny how it's always your biggest gifters that seem to be your best, or is it quotations, top mod?
Yeah. And even if you think about what Kieran said yesterday, he said he has gifted a lot to EQ. Do we know the value? No, we don't. But I can imagine it's been a lot.
Oh, I can imagine it's a lot. I'm sure I saw him in there one day and he was just gifting like unis, like everything. He was gifting really quite a lot, to be fair.
I think obviously what we've just said about gifting to become mod is obviously, that's a prime example, Chantel. He probably gifted you to keep you around.
Yeah, and I've never been back since. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. But people do it because they think that a lot of people are here on the back of, well, oh, they've modded me, they must like me because I've gifted. So it entices people to then gift again. I'm very much a person of like, I might gift you once and never gift you again. That is just me.
Yeah.
Like I rarely gift anyone apart from the people that I know. That's literally all I do.
And don't get me wrong, like, I don't mind being a mod for, like, Mary, you, Chantel, you, Abs, like, but I can't be a mod for a big room. And that's not because that I feel like that big room would then make me go back and you have to be here at a certain time. It's just that it's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So
And
what
it's
we,
schedules. I mean, we've heard stories of people having schedules and having actual tasks and saying, I can't do that task today because I've got a doctor's appointment. So then that task gets put to someone else. And because that person's not doing that task anymore, they feel like they've lost their ranking spot within the mod group.
yeah, so they're then made to feel that they aren't good enough.
Yeah.
so to speak. And they have to do something more. So it's so this is actually good to touch on. So there's so many branches to this. So what we're saying in regards to mods. So let's take it back. When did mods come off TikTok? So, and by that I mean, when did it become that mods were in mod chats or WhatsApp groups, or that if you became a mod, you had to join this WhatsApp group or Facebook group or Discord, and then you had all these private chats. What do you need to privately chat with mods about when you're going live?
This is the problem, like, do you know, obviously, for example, if you've got friends that are mods, like, you're probably going to be in a group chat. Like, obviously, we're your mod, we're in a group chat, but we're not in a group chat with all the other mods, if that makes sense. Like, so I understand if it's like friends and you just keep it as like a friend way, but when you're then putting schedules in a group chat, oh, I'm going to go live now, can you all come in? It just becomes a little bit extreme, and it becomes more job-like instead of like a fun part of it, if that makes sense.
Just to let you know, Mary does that to us all the time.
She shares it live all the time.
I do it all the time.
She
Exactly.
says first one
It's
all the
another
time.
way. It's another way to make them feel special while controlling them. So, what I want to know is if somebody's not paying you a wage, why are you going above and beyond for that person that you've never met before on the internet?
I feel like going back to like the Mr. M thing and the mods on that, it's just like the fact that they've all got to have profile pictures with hats on. It's kind of like a work thing. Like, you've got to wear a uniform. You can't work for another company unless you're working, like, because you're working for that company. And it's just...
It's not even just the profile pictures though, it's names as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just...
It's like having team such and such in your name, or such and such and then it's being known as that person. That's why I feel like I take away the vulnerable side of it, sort of thing. And look, it's about it's like ego. They want to be known that they're part of that group, and it's like you're going around with evil in your name or Zive in your name because you want to know that you want people to know that you're part of that group.
Yeah.
And that's another thing as well, like, as grown adults who've obviously been through school and everything like that, why I don't get the fact that you've come on an app and, as you said, to make yourself feel accepted. And I get it. I totally get it. It's the status thing, the acceptance, as Kiki just said there, sorry, to be part of a core group. I totally get that. But as a grown adult with a family or kids, or you work, like, you've got like your own career, it just baffles me how, because it's not all about vulnerable people. As you said, Chantel, this isn't all about vulnerable people. Is there vulnerable people out there? Yeah, but there's literally people of all different vulnerabilities on this app, and people that do get sucked into this, as I said, as people of families with kids, with careers. Why? I don't get why you would be sucked into I need to follow this person blindly and give them all my money so they can reap the rewards of all this financial gain, and all I'll get from them is a hello in a chat or
I think
thank you.
when I first come to TikTok, it was probably...
That's what I'm not getting.
You know, like the whole situation that I went through, and obviously I had to quit my job, and it was kind of like a whirlwind of my world just tipping upside down, if that makes sense. That's when I started coming on TikTok, and then that's when I found Laura. And don't get me wrong, like, I went in there every single day, but I was never looking to then gift big to become a mod. It was just kind of just a room that I went in, I just listened in, probably tapped a few times, sent a few heart me's, some roses, blah, blah, blah. But it was never a case where I had to come on the app and I had to be a mod and I had to be accepted. Like, it just, I don't get people's mentality of then going, right, I'm going to download this and then I'm going to go in a group and I'm going to then become mod and then I'm going to be accepted. Like,
No, but I
Guys, can we tap up the screen, please?
think if you're in, I suppose if you're in a vulnerable situation and the first thing that you come on the app and you do start seeing people live, you do start seeing people shouting out people's names in regards to gifters badges or gifting or becoming MVPs on battles, whatever it may be. And it may be a sense, if you are in that state of mind where you are vulnerable, you're wanting that. You may not be getting that in your real social life or in your home. So coming on an app and being your name being shouted out and feel like you're wanted, I get that from the vulnerable side. So I can understand that. But I'm trying to take away the vulnerable side of it because
but that's what I'm saying. So I can understand it from that point of view, but say it was, as Jordan said, so say Jordan came onto this app and, as I said, he used to go into swearing ships. This is just an example, by the way, guys, before anybody cuts us and whatever. And he does go into swearing ships and he became, I'm going to gift her uni after uni because she said my name because I want to be mod. Like, it's that side of it. Do you know what I mean?
It's
people without vulnerability. So what I'm saying is, how do people without vulnerabilities, or as I said, that lead like pretty normal, going out, doing day-to-day life, come in, go on an app at night time, suddenly become engrossed and...
It's a status thing. It's a status. It's trying to be known.
Why does status on an app mean more to you than your beliefs, than your than what is right? Because in the real world, let's face it, half of these people wouldn't be doing this.
But but then you're all, by the time you've already started to think about your own beliefs, your own morals, you're already under the court's fucking radars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's
beyond that. So you're sort of already, you're lured in by the wants and needs from yourself, and then you're already in it, and then you're doing the things that the creator wants you to do.
Yeah, so then you then think
more seen by either the creator or someone else.
Yeah, so exactly. So these creators start, you get into your little fold, you make your little friends within that little group, and then does it become you're too deep to get out of it? Or you're too scared of the actions?
I think it just depends what room you go in, because obviously, like I said, when I went into Swearing Shep's room the first time, I was accepted within the group because obviously I interacted in the comments. Like I said, I just sent like a few small gifts in there, and it was kind of like I was welcomed in the group without then big gifting and becoming mod and stuff like that. Like, I think it just depends which room you go in. But then I was just deep in it as well. It's just the fact that obviously I know you said something about that when people go over and beyond on the app to then be recognised. Obviously, if you're then in employment and then they do an employer of the month, you're going to go extra, aren't you, to then become employer of the month. So I wonder if this is the mentality of people then gifting big because they want to be the top, if that makes sense.
It depends on, I would also say it depends on the creator. It depends on the creator and how they run their room and how they run or make their rules for their mods. Like, certain mods are going to act different in certain rooms because of the creator. Now, if you're looking at the likes of EQ, I've heard that there's payments that go out to certain mods. There's all sorts. Do you know what I mean? So it's slightly different. So you're most probably fighting for the top. Like, oh, such and such has spoken about you. Oh my gosh, I've been in this room and I've defended you to prove yourself so that you can get some form of payment. You could go into someone else's so that your name gets pinned and you get loads of fun. It could be there's numerous
things. Yeah.
It's just on the individual, and also depends on who the creator is as well.
Hey, Kiki.
Hey.
Hi.
Are you good?
I'm good, love. So what's your thoughts on all of this?
Good. I think just in the simplest form of like, we're defining like vulnerable to not vulnerable and how people get brought in, right? I'm guessing most people are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy theory. When you have a look, there's 5 steps in Maslow's hierarchy theory, which are basic things that humans need. Humans do not do well in any level of society if they do not have those 5 things. So you've got your basic needs, which are things like food, water, warmth, rest, etc. The second one is safety needs. So it's things like safety and security. When people go into these groups, they can get that sense of feeling protected because there's so many people around them. She's on pause, bless her, she probably got a call.
No, I'm still listening. I was just getting
Okay.
the hierarchy for folks
Then
to see.
there's a sense of belonging, love, and need. Again, that comes down to relationships, intimate relationships, friendships. That's the second one that these groups and any group you sit in will tick, essentially. Then there's things like esteem. So that's where the prestige, the feeling of being accomplished, the feeling of actually achieving something and being part of something amazing comes in. Kinds of those ego esteem characteristics that boost you and make you feel good. They also check that one. And then there's the self-actualization, which goes into achieving your potential. So when you look at those 5 in terms of a breakdown, these groups hit 3. Now, we also have to understand the society we're living in. When we're living in a society where people are online a lot more than they were even 5 years ago. 5 years ago, people were out and about more. Social media wasn't that prominent. Now people are living on social media, as most of us are. And especially in these groups. And we see in these groups, those core people are ones that sit in these rooms all day and all night whenever these creators are on. And it's not always down to they don't have friends or things like that. Some people don't want to go out anymore. They're in the habit of staying home, or they can't afford to go out and do stuff, or they're not just going to go for a walk because their areas. So there's 100 different reasons you can go into, but people are online more. So that plays in to this whole narrative. And then touching on that whole thing that we always bring up in terms of where's the values, where's the, excuse me, so my throat's dying, I've been talking all day. Where's it, like, why do you not recognize this? It's because once you get in, it's presented, and you can hear this. If you listen to the way creators talk from EQ to everybody else, we may see it from an outsider, but when you're in it, it's presented in a way that is very, very different. These people, they will tell you, you know, they're going to run their own narrative. They don't want you to see so the language used is really important. So if you're already in a group that is meeting 3 of your core needs as a human being, you do listen, and you think you're smarter because you're seeing what other people aren't seeing. And our values, remember, they're formed off of things like parents, environment, society, friends, who we spend time around, our own experiences. That's where our values come from. So I could have my own personal experiences, go into a group where they're talking about whatever. I align with that. And all of a sudden, their values start to merge into my values, and I'm taking on theirs because it sounds normal, or it sounds logical. So our values are always formed. And this is why that is that classic thing where your parents used to say, watch what company you keep. Birds of a feather flock together, this, that, and the other. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, which is why if you sit in rooms or spend time with, whether it's your friends, your family, because we can't always pick our family, or these rooms, if you're sat around people with Angie and all those people, we know how they go on, that's how your thinking is eventually going to become, because you just buy into it. So yeah, this is why it's so important that you watch. So I think on that one, it's not even about, we know there's vulnerable people, but the average person can quite easily get drawn into this because of those reasons.
Thank you. That's actually quite a good way to put it, to be fair. Because as you said, like the hierarchy, they're basically, their self-esteem is being filled, their love and acceptance is being filled. What was the other one? Empathy or something?
It's sense of belonging, safety.
The belonging, yes.
Safety needs. You feel protect. Like if anybody goes after any of EQ's people, if anybody was to go after EQ Minx, how many people have they got backing her? She knows she's got a whole group of people, collective, that's going to come out and back her, right? Same with Delusive, same with Red, same with Zach, same with any DG, any big creator. They've got that security. They feel part of something. They're protected. And that always feels good. Everybody wants to feel protected, even if we can protect ourselves. Everybody wants to have friends, even if we have our own groups.
I think there's enough evidence on here, though, Kiki. This is what I think. Why, for me, I just sit here and think, as much as they feel that need is being achieved by being a part of that group.
Guys, can you tap up, please, if you're in here?
There's enough evidence of these people turning on people that have been in their said groups, you know what I mean, or exposing them. I feel like people aren't reading it. Do you know what? It's just...
I think you're thinking of it from a very balanced, very logical perspective, right?
Yeah.
No problem, Jordan. I hope she's okay.
It's always going to be that. It's never me. It won't happen to me because I would... Remember, when they turn on people, so let's say, because it's relevant, EQ now turns on Kieran, right? The narrative she's spinning is he went against me. He tried to throw our friend Zach under the bus. So I did it first. So all her people are not seeing she screwed somebody over again. They're seeing, oh my God.
Yesterday I saw, because obviously I don't go in there much, but yesterday I literally saw a clip, and in that clip of when she was live, a person who's been with her for years on end, a level gift, I think it was like 31 in a Heart Me team. Her sub was like a really dark red, so she'd been there for like probably a year or two. And I think she just said something in the comments as such as like, are we talking on Zach? ? And straight away she got blocked.
Yeah.
So for me, if you've been around that surrounding for that long and you can see how quick you are able to be dropped, isn't that a highlight to you of how she doesn't care, or any of them don't care about you in that state of mind?
I think the same way, like you said, she's been around for ages. She's been around a long time, judging by what you can see of her and everything else, right? She never saw that up until she experienced it. So she's been sat there for however many years, and she's been buying into the narrative they've been giving her because that makes sense to her in her world. And it's not until she experiences it that she goes, oh shit. But then other people are still in that frame of mind of
disbelief, like it's going to happen to them.
Yeah, and it's just buying into a narrative. It's easy to feed people information, especially the longer you have them and the longer you can influence them. And the one thing these people are good at, we talk about them being charismatic. With being charismatic, you have to be influential. You've got to be able to influence your people, influence your opinion, speak in a certain way. You know what terminology to use, you know what words to use. And however educated people think they are on TikTok, and we understand why that's being used, there's always going to be a big group of people that can understand it, know the rules, but still don't see it when it's in their own home. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Is there any
problem we have?
Is there anybody in here that is a mod for one of these big creators, like an Angie's mod or an EQ mod? Someone that's part of the Zive? Anybody that wants to come up? Anybody that was part of Mr. M's creators?
Ladies, I'm going to drop. Sorry, I've got a meeting in a bit, but I'll listen away.
No problems, Kiki. Thank you so much for coming up, my love.
Bye.
Or if anybody knows anybody that is one that would like to come up at the boxes, we're not going to tear you apart. I just would like to know, like, what's your reasoning behind it? Who did you mod for, Birdie? Or is anybody in here a previous mod? We've got Bo.
Hello. I did mod for someone very similar. As soon as I found out what they were doing, I ran for the hills. And
right.
It's very cult-like. It's very disturbing.
So, are you able to tell us who it was you modded for?
Yes, I did mod for. I thought he was such a lovely guy at first. You might have heard of him, Fonzie Media. He's got properly banned by TikTok, so whatever he was saying or doing, they literally banned him. He lost over £500 in revenue, things like that. So whatever he said was really bad for TikTok to ban him.
Yeah.
I mean it. When he first started, he was lovely, down to earth. He seemed genuinely wanted to make a difference, genuinely wanted to create an alternative, friendly, news media, live, where everyone could be welcomed, to challenge social justices, to understand that people can be different, and wanted to do a deep dive into why there was such a phenomena, an extreme rise of alt left or alt right. And then somewhere along the line, he swallowed it, and I came on a live. It was the dogpiling, it was the misogyny, it was the race bait, and I thought, no. And I talked to him, go, what's going on? And he goes, welcome to the revolution. And I saw that look in his face, and I thought, oh my God, what's happened to that nice young guy I met from all those months ago? And I said, no, this isn't for me. And I blocked him. And then he tried to follow me on one of my other backup accounts, and it was scary.
So, What drew you into him in the first place? So the fact that he was accepting everybody and he was going to be
Yeah, it was
challenged.
lovely. No,
Yeah.
seriously, it's like a Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Hyde situation. If I'd known what he was going to be, I would have blocked him, called him out sooner, but there was nothing for me to detect that, the red flags were not there. Maybe, looking back in hindsight, he was too good to be true.
Yeah. So
Too good to be true.
as a mod, what was it you were responsible to do, like within his group?
Well, at the time, he just seemed to be so grateful to get any attention, and he liked the fact that I was friendly, I was prepared to take him at face value, and he was finding it a bit overwhelming. He asked me to be a mod, and I thought, well, that's nice of him. Why not? So I said, yeah, I'll help. And it was just, the real good stuff, like promote him, make sure everyone had a fair say, and there was no. This is what's really sad. He didn't want any derogative or any hateful extreme behaviours. He wanted everyone to have a say, take the turns, etc., etc. But then, I went away for illness purposes. I come back and it was like I was in an alternate reality. Gone was those ethics. Gone were those, the art of conversation etiquettes. It was a dogpiling. There was one particular woman talking about, she was a trans widow, and she was talking from a very personalised viewpoint, and he just attacked her, gaslighted her. That she wasn't entitled to her feelings, that she should be totally there for her husband. Anything else was transphobic. I was horrified.
Because this person had presented as a genuine, lovely, nice person, and then he changed into something you didn't recognise, essentially.
Absolutely. I'd gone away because I was very unwell, and I come back and I'm going, this can't be him. So I called him out on it. I was going, look, whatever's going on, whatever you're believing, the main rule that I said I'll be a mod for you is not to, torpedo other people's lived experiences.
Yeah.
And it was really weird, he said he wouldn't do it again, but I just felt so shocked by that. I thought I couldn't do it. There was a couple of other things he'd done, all Not One Live, and I was hearing some bad things about what he had done, and I thought that's enough for me. I can't be a part of that anymore. And then I found out from others he's been barred, and then he put out a big, I don't know how he done it. I think he used somebody else's live to totally go nuclear, say, how dare TikTok take him down? They owe him money. He was about to get a lawyer involved. And I thought, well, good luck with that. Whatever you done to TikTok for them to permanently bar you, I think that's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So
love.
when you was like, obviously came across and became a mod,
Yes.
what was the time frame to you noticing the big differences in what sort of...
I think for me, which was very painful, is when I first met him, he was really good. Unfortunately, because I became unwell, I didn't see that descend into that chaos. It's when I come back several months later, I saw as black and white. There was no... what's the word? There was no reason for this.
Yeah, well...
It was clear as day. When you first saw him, you'd be thinking, he's a nice guy. He's a little bit shy, a little bit geeky. There's nothing wrong with that. He would be coming up here, charming you, really, really, I suppose, doing the charming narcissist, wanted to win you over, wanted to... I think he was always like that. I think he knew what he was doing. And I thank the fact that I had that period of being unwell, because if I had not been well, I would have dropped him sooner at the first sign, because I made it very clear I want to be a part of lives where people can have differences of opinions, but be respectful, just be an adult.
I just had a question. Was he on the app for long then before you came across him, or was he new to the app?
Not really. He was new to the app, but I think he took a break, apparently for family, whatever, and then he come back and he really took off. He really did. He absolutely took off from having zero followers to having thousands upon thousands. He went, I wouldn't say it was like, who was another controversial one? Elphaba. Have you heard of her?
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't quite.
Unfortunately.
Yes, I try to avoid Elphaba. I think that they, as an individual, they need to go away, do a lot of self-healing, and hopefully get to a better place. He wasn't as big as her, but he did have a phenomenal rise. Yeah, he went from nothing to that. He had a following. He could have gone the whole distance. But whatever he had said or done, from what I saw was enough to go, no, I can't do this anymore. I just can't.
Yeah.
And did you get any backlash for leaving?
They know not to mess with me. I made it very clear. If you're going to be mean, I'm going to block you, and I'm not going to fall for any of this extreme rhetoric that you're weak for blocking someone. No, it's called consent. I had one or two people trying to convince me, and I'm going, no. And I made it very clear to them, if you follow him, he will throw you under the bus. And I said to them, what part did you think that was acceptable to attack the most vulnerable of people? Regardless of whatever
Did he
you
ever?
feel. Yeah.
Did he ever have like any information on you for him to maybe throw you under the bus or?
No, because he thought he won me over completely. No offense. If you met Fonzie, he is very charming.
And did you disclose any of like personal information or anything to him?
No. If anything, can I be honest with you? I think he got into this red pill rhetoric and it's just changed him for the worst. He respected my boundaries. When I first met him, I genuinely thought he was a nice guy. I think because I went away, I was very poorly. I didn't see that full descent into what he is now. And that is who he's become. That's who he is. I did believe he started off as one person, and we all have these traits, but he didn't regulate himself. He didn't uphold what he said he wanted to be. That was a good alternative, content creator. He went into the extreme of it. And what I saw him was doing, it was terrifying, and he was enjoying it. He had his acolytes, he had a whole army behind him, and if any of them stood up, if someone else, and I'm sure there was others saying, hang on a minute, I'm not comfortable with this, he then turned on them. Now, I didn't give any information because I did say to him, I'll be on and off, but if I could ever pop in to support him, I would. But when I went ill, 1 minute, months ago, we're having this lovely interaction. I come back months later, he's turned into a bully. That's a shock, let me tell you. That's a horrible shock. If he started off like that originally, absolutely, I would not have voted for him.
Yeah, so again, that fits into what we were saying about cults and about a cult leader. So
yes. Charismatic, yeah. He didn't get anything off me because I think I'm so transparent. So anything he did, I suppose, try and work on me, I backed it up because I said what I was on the tin.
Yeah, so here we go.
He couldn't believe I was a vegan. He couldn't believe I was a Unitarian. He couldn't believe I was pro-women, but I'd done mental health lives for, boys and men. It's like, that's because I'm a middle grounder. I'm not here to make my fortune from TikTok. I don't want the stress. I come on because when I get bored, it's nice to have some downtime and meet different people and etc. And I think he might have tried to use that against me, but when you kind of say who you are, that's kind of my shielding, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up another question, I think, as well, is because Birdie Applebit, sorry if you're still here, my love, put in the comments every time she's demodded or walked away from somebody that she's modded for, she's never had backlash. So who is it that these creators are choosing to give backlash to? Because as Bo said, he knew who I was. He knew I was a stand-up person. He knew I wasn't going to take his bullshit. So I walked away.
Yeah.
So are these creators then, to gain that coercive control back, only going for people they believe are in a vulnerable state?
Precisely. I could see why he might have seen me as vulnerable, because he's saying, oh, she's a Christian, I can easily manipulate with the Bible, and she's a woman and she's a vegan. Oh yeah, and that's kind of sad really, to go for those misogynistic stereotypes, because we're not all the same.
Yeah.
And he also felt because I was a teacher, oh, she's so easy to know. just because I'm nice. Yeah, I get targeted for being too nice. It's like whatever. I'm me. I'm going to navigate TikTok as I need to, and that is be me. If you get the wrong side of me, I'm like a human being. I'll call you out. But no, it was a shame when he done it. It really was a shame, and it was quite this is quite cathartic to talk about because and there's other people I've also dropped. Have you heard of a person called Emma? Emma. She got taken by No, there's so many Emmas. I have got nothing against Emma. I think she's just been taken in by another cult-like personality called Ella. Ella attached herself to me very quickly. I was getting a very big following. Well, compared to what I had a couple of followers and I went up to thousands of followers. She couldn't do enough for me. She was coming on, and again, it's that they win you over. It's like seduction. You know, say the right words, give you the right, and her background was legal. And as I was going on, she realised I wasn't going to be an extreme TERF or an extreme rightist or extreme TA, because I'm not. I believe that everyone has the right to live the life they need to live.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be transphobic. I'm certainly not going to be misogynistic.
Exactly. That's quite a good point. So what that Kieran brought up last night was the reason why he knew that laughing at Talia's miscarriage was wrong. However, because Evil Queen didn't like her and because she found it funny, that is when he did that. That's why he did that. He went with her mentality and he put that on.
I have heard of Evil Queen. It's a shame. I try not to get involved in those sort of like battling lives. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's another one called, is it Red Queen or something? I was a part of a real lovely group called White Queen, and she was an amazing, sweet girl. She was 18, she was a Satanist, and she genuinely wanted to create a community where everyone felt they could belong and have a say. Yeah. And I was a part of her team, and I liked it. I really did. And guess what? When I left, there was no backlash because she was similar to me. She was a middle grounder. She genuinely wanted to create a community that supported everybody. But she was transparent about it. Like, if you wanted to get to where you were, she showed me the intricacies of like, this is a big business machine. You know, you do need.
This is what we're talking about. Yeah,
let's not kid ourselves. It's big business, and I commended White Queen.
It's financial control.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know, White Queen had my back. She was a lovely girl. I was approached by others, and I thought, no, thank you, because if you're going to throw someone under the bus like that, then you're not here for the people. You're not here for the. I don't want to use the term underdog, but you're here for yourself. And I'm all for business.
So when is it that these creators actually show themselves for who they are?
Yeah.
And is it because of the platform we built?
It's the money in the end, isn't it? It's all about the money, about the power, about the, you know, who could get the most clicks, who could get the most whatever.
Well, that's what I wanted to
it's a cult.
figure out, Crazy Saying, because you said you have your own thoughts, your own decisions, so you wouldn't follow a creator blindly, but some people do. So why do mods or people that follow them take on that creator's then beliefs? How is that?
You said they're vulnerable.
What is
They're vulnerable. They're not over their trauma. They need a calling. These cult people target that, don't they?
Yeah,
they target them.
It's just fascinating.
I think
it's just fascinating to me
because I do I wouldn't say I wear my sleeve on my thing, but I don't go proclaiming everything about myself. But at the same time, I don't want to create a false narrative where I could be caught out and then get caught up in other people's dramas. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not even going to try to pretend other people's motives on this lives. If it don't feel right, I'm just going to stay away, you know? But going back to Fonzie Media, he could have been something really positive, and it's such a shame that he's gone that way. But can I say it? If you keep doing bad things, eventually it'll bite you in the bum. So whatever he'd done to TikTok to get himself permanently banned, that was crazy.
Yeah. Totally. Well, thank you for coming up, Bo.
No,
Thank you
thanks for
telling-
having me. But all I can say is it's definitely a cult mentality. And I know the ones you talk about, they finally get the accolades, but unfortunately, they end up becoming worse than the creators because they get consumed with all the power. And
Exactly.
all I say to anyone, if someone asks you to be a mod, please do your homework. I won't do it now because it's too precarious. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Bo. Thank you. If there's anybody else that wants to come up and talk on their mod experience, please do. What is it that makes you want to become a mod for somebody? In these big rooms, in these big creations. Is TikTok the new breeding ground for these cult leaders? Is it the new breeding ground? Do you know what I mean? For these things to happen? Oh, sorry guys, 2 secs. I'm just going to blow my nose. But yeah, so what we're trying to get across today is it's so hard because yeah, I make my mods rub me. Yeah, so as Birdie says, the purpose of a mod, to me, that's to me as well, is just to protect the creator from harmful comments and protect the viewers in the chat from being exposed to stuff. But my point is, these creators and mods are going above and beyond that now. Mod isn't just what we've said, what we've defined on here, which is these attributes. Like, it's not just being a mod now on TikTok is not just about blocking people, muting people, pinning comments, raising people to the boxes and stuff like that. Sorry. Sorry guys, 2 secs. When you were. What do you mean, Jake? It's about you now having to emotionally care for creators or financially care for creators. KJ saying she thinks mods becomes friends when you are or become a mod. Chats get made and you talk daily. Oh, 100%, and I totally get that. Mods are going to become your friends, but with some of these creators, are you really their friends? Are they actually giving you a friendship? Like, what is it you're actually getting out of them? Are you becoming their friends, or are you the one that's there to blow smoke up their ass, essentially, to make them feel like what they're doing and saying is right? Like, how many times EQ came out with the most awful, disgusting things, and all her mods have backed her and said that's right, that's correct in what she's saying. When, for example, like Angie, she does the worst of the worst. To me, her mods are babysitters that are there to reassure her that it's okay that she drinks a lot on live, it's okay that she does this on live, it's okay that she asks these questions. It's almost as if they need that backup and reassurance. Oh, there is a part 2. No problem, KJ. But yeah, guys, anybody that has just joined, we are just basically talking about in regards to how far will mods go for creators. Is it mods or is it cult members? No, it didn't come through, Jake.
I think some people are there just to mod. There is some people that are just mods. And there's some people that are going to be, that fall under the cult side of things.
Yeah, so then you become emotionally involved when they pretend that you're their friend, and then, but do they see you as a friend or exactly financial gain as an emotional support as you going out and doing stuff for them? And exactly, Chantel, some people are just there to mod. We're not defining all mods as being brainwashed. It's more of these extremes, like as we said, like Kieran came out yesterday.
And like even like the Mr. M mods, we're seeing extreme, and I think if you think about it, a lot of the mods that used to be mod for Mr. M have actually spoke as if it is a cult, and they only realise that until since they've left. Do you know what I mean? It's that realization when you come out of it, then you realize. But I think as an outsider, because I'm not involved in any mod groups like that, I think I see it from the cuff. Like you see it. You see it. You see the people. You see the people that are. We've had it over here sometimes where you've spoke about Angie, and Angie's mods come over, or Angie's followers come over and say the most in the comments. It's just go over there and talk about what you want to talk about over there. Leave everyone else to it. It's the defending when there doesn't need, or there isn't any room for defending. It's going out of your way to what you might consider as just your downtime on the app, and then going causing trouble elsewhere, defending a person that really gives no shits about you. Not one.
Exactly. So, prime example was that Kieran. EQ didn't give a shit about him when she threw him under the bus.
To be honest,
to him,
I feel like there's so many extremes though, because I feel like EQ is very much the extreme of what we're talking about. I don't feel like EQ gives a shit about anyone. Let's be honest. Not a damn soul, apart from themselves. Angie most probably cares about or will listen to one or two people. You've got Zach that will most probably listen to most probably about 10 people. There's just extremes and levels to it, where I think as the EQ is the top of the top, like literally the top of the top, like anyone could be thrown under that bus. Absolutely anyone. We witnessed that yesterday. Zach was about to get thrown under the bus. And that's
see, to me as well though. To me, Zach did get thrown under the bus.
He was 100%. I think he would have got thrown under a lot more if the scenario panned out a different way.
Yeah. So to me, what she did was she screwed both of them at the same time. And what she basically said was, I've got this information on you. I'm not afraid to out it, but I'm going to paint it. I'm going to dress it up in a bow and paint it as I've got this bad person out of your life.
Yeah.
And all her little minions went crazy for it. Yeah, it's something that's morally wrong on this app. It's normally brushed under the carpet within a few days. And why is that? Because you have people that are willing to back the creators that do something that is wrong.
Yeah, and the thing is, it will be like, it gets dressed up as, oh, it's old news now, let's get onto this topic instead. And I think we move too fast from segment to segment. Like sometimes it's hard to even keep up. Do you know what I mean? It would just move too fast, and people are so willing to ignore things and just carry on as if it's not happened. I'd have just loved to hear from Kieran in regards to the fact that if Zach hadn't got brought up yesterday, we wouldn't have had this whole conversation about Kieran. He would have still been a devoted fan to EQ. Let's not get it twisted. It's only the fact that someone else was going to get dragged under the bus that he decided to speak out. And in all fairness, I think what he spoke out about was a bit wishy-washy anyway, because there's parts that people are going to want answers to. Conversations that have been had with him and EQ about other creators that people want to know on, but he doesn't want to speak about that. So it's wishy-washy. If you're going to come and out someone, come and out them completely. We don't just want one outing because we already know what one person is like. You've got all the information. Disclose it all at this point. What are you saving face for now?
As Jake's just put it there. So he was only upset about her prior behaviour when what she was doing was impacting him.
Exactly. So to me, in my eyes, he's no better than anyone else.
Yeah.
He's no.
This is the thing as well. I do not feel bad for Kieran. And the reason why I don't feel bad for Kieran is because he was happy to sit there and laugh along and be evil, as Chantel says, up until that point when he was basically booted out the club. And then it's tears. And then it's, do you know what I mean? She did this to me. She did that to me. But you were happy to laugh along when she was doing it to everybody else. So what you've done is you've been complicit, and then the snakes turned around and bit you in the ass, and now you expect everybody to feel sorry and bad for you.
And how have you got a heart? You've got a heart at this point, but only 4 or 5 days ago you're cussing someone because they've lost a baby. It makes no sense. You're willing to have a heart at the moment because it's going to look bad on you if you ran that course. That's why. Let's be honest.
And then this is the thing as well. The mental health card that's played on this app is wild. Absolutely wild. Only today when EQ was in Angie's boxes citing that her ADHD, she has something wrong with her brain. So that is why she reacts the way that she does. Now, I know a lot of people with ADHD, autism, etc. Ain't nobody act like that, regardless
I think Kevin's
of
been
what you
around.
have wrong with your brain.
Kevin's been around for a while, Auntie. He's not a new character like that.
I think he's a new he's a new character that came live,
Yeah.
but he's been in her room for ages.
Yeah.
Zach's not done anything 79. It's just we're just talking about what happened last night. And the mental health card, as I said, that's always played. As soon as somebody gets outed or thrown out, or it's, well, I've got bad mental health. I've got this. This has happened to me. This is my trauma. So you can't then come at me because I've had this trauma. Well, I can, because what you've done is wrong, and I'm going to call you out for it. And the narrative, the dangerous thing that she's now doing as well, is she's spinning that because she's got ADHD, this and that and that and that. So people watching that may suffer from ADHD, are they going to start doing this? Just saying what they want? Playing the ADHD card?
It's like allowing other people to have the excuse to act in the same way as her. Like, it's a ridiculous move.
I'll tell you now, the way that I act, my brain works, because of my ADHD and the way that my brain works, and this is not the same for everybody, is my morality chip is like tenfold, which you probably see from me being on here, that's wrong. Mine's is very black and white of that is wrong. So you have to understand why that is wrong, and I'm going to tell you. Do you know what I mean? I don't have that middle ground chip.
I've got to go because I've got a half past meeting, but I've got to come up on the ADHD bit. So, look, my opinion on this is, because I personally don't like the mental health card label, for example, because I think we all have. No, sorry, that's not true. We don't all have. When we have these problems, they might play out in ways that you don't think they should play out, but they do. What I'm trying to come up and say, though, is yes, ADHD can impact your impulse control. So might get carried away with the idea of this is what I'm going to do about it. And, you're so fueled by that impulse energy. What the key difference is with EQ, which has got nothing to do with ADHD, is the nastiness that's behind the intent. So if you look at what happened yesterday, that's not in the slightest to do with ADHD. What I would argue is the only bit might be the impulse idea to do something about Zach or to do something about, there's plenty of times maybe I've woke up going, right, I'm going to do this now, I'm going to run this new project, or I'm going to train to become this. And once that impulse wears off, you're sort of completely lost interest in that idea, right? That's part of the nature of it. What I'm saying has got like absolutely zero to do with ADHD or medication or whatever, is the vileness of the level that someone's prepared to go to for any of this stuff. So I'm really not this arsed, to be honest with you. But if you look at what you did with Zach then, and what I mean with that is that, yes, Kieran was then just as vile, so I'm not feeling sorry for anyone involved. But she did very clearly say that she wanted Zach to feel this because she wants to teach him a lesson for not fully backing her up. And that's why I say about, like, this is not about ADHD or any characteristic that could impact you. Because as you say, you don't know it's divergence. And that's why I'm saying that we have to accept that it does mean that our brains are wired in a different way. But ADHD has got no connection to the nastiness of, I want to teach my friends a lesson, so I'm going to expose their private life, humiliate them online in front of everybody. I'm going to block them so they think I'm really serious. Like, that's a level of intent that's got absolutely zero to do with your, like, even like I said, depression or your bipolar. Again, it's around mania. It's that sort of heightened sense, and none of these then give you the complete nastiness. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't think ADHD in of itself is a factor of whether you're a good or a bad person, just as the same with most other mental health conditions. The reason I say most is there's some stuff, isn't there, around narcissism and stuff like that are mental health conditions, which fundamentally have characteristics involved. But that's why 79, I sometimes struggle, you see, is that if we can then say, well, narcissism is a fundamental character disorder, it is a diagnosable mental health condition, then most people wouldn't say that narcissism doesn't impact your character. It sort of defines your character, doesn't it? Whereas with ADHD, it isn't defining your behaviour. What it's doing is making us have a deficit in some way. So for example, attention, for example, impulsivity, for example, how much information we can hold at one point in time. I just don't think it's got any connection at all to how vile and nasty you want to be, what vendetta then.
So, like, basically, ADHD is not connected to your morality scale and what you believe is morally incorrect.
Sorry, I don't know, something's just stopped me. I don't know. What you say about morals?
Yeah, so I said your ADHD is not connected to your morality scale on what you believe.
But it will impact how you play that out. I think that's what I'm trying to explain, is that it will impact how far or not you're prepared to then go with something. So for example, sometimes I'm not arguing with you, by the way. It just is this, these things aren't simple, are they? I don't know the answers here, but I'm just sort of saying that I don't ever believe that we can sort of say, oh, depression's not an excuse, or this is an excuse, because yes, Birdie, but that's the point, isn't it? That injustice is a problem, rejection sensitivity dysphoria is a problem. But what I'm saying is that doesn't then dictate your response to it. So I have massive issues around rejection sensitivity dysphoria. So I'm a trainer. I've just been training people today. If I've got 16 people and one person looked a bit grumpy, that's what stands out to me for the rest of the day about my capability of doing my job and whatever. But what I'm saying is the reaction to that. So the impact is, I feel really shit about myself. I want to isolate. And whereas we're talking here about a character who would want to destroy that person's life for making them feel like they weren't as good at their job. And that's where I just can't accept that fundamentally it's got anything to do with some of this stuff. I just think someone hasn't got any sense of proportionality, have they? Like, they just don't. She just strikes me genuinely as if you cut her up on the road, God, she will follow you home and slash your tyres and burn your house down at the night just to make sure that you don't do that again to her. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so what part, so that's not ADHD, like, as you're saying, it's more the...
But as Bertie says, I'm sorry that I'm interrupting, but it's that there's bits of it that you could see are inflamed. So the idea, Mary, you know, I thought you said you have ADHD, but maybe that was a secret that I've exposed on the app. But the point being that you might then go, well, you know, my ADHD is that I spend money a lot because I get really into this idea of getting this going, or I really want this. And then you live with the sort of regret of actually I've got no money now and I'm struggling. Do you know what I mean? So it does impact us on a day-to-day basis. But it just is the impact on other people, isn't it? Where I think you can challenge people a lot more. So you can feel hurt, Mary, that, you know, Chantel hasn't been in your box for a few weeks, right? But what we're then saying is that might be influenced by your ADHD. It might be influenced by depression. It might be influenced by you having anxiety. But the fact that you would then want to make sure that Chantel loses their relationship, that her kids don't want to speak to her anymore, that's the bit where I'm like, whoa, where the fuck are we going on this app?
Yeah. Like, how far is it actually going to go?
Where it's become a norm that we see people in mental health hospitals just to prove that things are getting bad on the app. And then we'll go through the same cycle. Sorry, Chantel.
Yeah, I agree, because it's like people can piss you off. People can do things that you don't want them to do. They could go against you or whatever. But it's how far you're willing to take it, like, to the next level. Now, on impulse, I might have a scream and shout because that's how I do with things.
Yes.
On impulse, I am not going to drag someone through the waters and then start like it was. And when you think about it, it was calculated. So to me, the part of impulse wasn't taking part because it was calculated. Because you put a post on your story to say this is what you was going to do. That is not impulse to me. That is calculated.
But I think this is the interesting thing is that. But I don't know, because I would describe the.
I think the impulse was to try and take him out because he's hurt her.
Yes.
So I'm going to take him out.
And then she's carried away with the actions to go on.
Yeah, the action is over and above what someone would actually do.
The only reason I'm saying it, Chantel, is that, you know, I've been saving up for years to get a mortgage, right? And then can't get a mortgage, so I go, fuck it, I'm going to buy a car. And that impulse wasn't 10 minutes, that was a week, right? That was a week then of, I'm so excited by this sense of needing to fill that void, that rejection, that I just did something nice for myself, you know. So I'm trying to just say that impulse then isn't necessarily a minute or an hour, or it can be that you're carried away.
I have that myself. Like I get that. I get the fact of being impulsive. Like I do it the same. I think Bertie mentioned about buying stuff and doing a craft shop, doing bookmarks. I understand that completely. But I think when we're talking about EQ, there's very much a calculation in what she's doing as well. So we can't just always sit here and go, yes, this is how she should act, because we already know she's going to have that calculated side of her that's going to be planning it out as well. Whether there's impulse, it's impulse driven as well, I understand that. But I'm saying her actions yesterday, the impulse could have been, I'm going to out Zach. The calculation was, you planned it in relation to, this is what you're going to release. You've obviously, there's been talks in the background. You came on at 7:00 as you promised, and you dished out further information. It's a calculation.
And what I don't get, Chantal, why would you block your friend? And you could have just at least said to that one person, just it's fine, don't worry about it, I've got a plan. But she wanted him to not know because she wanted to teach him a lesson. That's what she said. I wanted you to feel the pain.
I wanted to make him sweat.
And that's where the reject. But this is why I keep saying about, because honestly, I don't want it at all to be twisted. What I talk about here, because this is the thing about empathy. You see people say, oh, you should have empathy. Empathy doesn't mean you got to feel sorry for or forgive. It means try and understand that sense of emotion that someone might have then had. Get on. It doesn't mean you've got to then go, but they were right, they did the right thing. Or so for me, the empathy is, I can see that someone might be hurt. And this is not about them, it's about anyone then. So, you know, Chantal might have been hurt, so they stop going to this person's lives, they then fall out with X, Y. So you can sort of go, I can see that. And I just wish I wish Chantal had done that a little bit better though. But so, do you know what I mean? Like you can just go, yeah, well, I get it. I can see why it happened. I can see the factors involved. But that's why I'm saying, this chat is useful for us, but it's got absolutely zero to do with the person at all. It's got nothing to do with it. And they'll probably again love that it's up for debate and discussion because they've never spoke about it before this year anyway. It was never
Yeah,
a
this is
topic.
another thing, and there's obviously talks about them not being diagnosed, or it's diagnosed at the moment and self-prescribed. So it's that all that misinformation of from them to say, well, I've got this, but I've not been diagnosed with it. I'm taking tablets for it, but you're not prescribed them tablets. You're prescribing them yourself, and also this is on top of that. This is how I behave. It's giving excuses for everyone that fits that criteria to say, well, someone else is doing that. They're allowed to do it. I can do it and get away with it too.
But this is why I think that's why I popped up though, because that's why I was like, I know I've explained stuff then, but I just think it's got zero. I know you've just said this as well, but it's got zero to do with ADHD, and it's just a good diversion. And because Mary, I think I said this to you the other day. I do have this view of like, is it a debate? Is it a balance? Is it actually I'm talking shit? Do we just ignore them? Like, why are we continuously then sort of shocked, surprised? I know we've sort of said we're not, but as in, this is what they do. This is who they are. So then what happens is Kieran can run his live all night, because I did listen for a little bit. And as you say, Chantal, my view was wishy. It was just, I don't know here. In fact, you are probably just reinforcing her message, actually, that she was setting you up. Nothing you played then made it seem like she didn't know what she was doing. She still seemed very calculated in her agenda with that. She was setting you up to fail, whatever, right? But this wasn't a lull, was it? It wasn't that we've had a year of quite nice and actually, God, yeah, didn't expect her to do that again. She's only just done the worst thing we've seen her ever do. We've only just seen it. It wasn't a gap. It wasn't a, do you know what, new year, new start. So actually she's been all right this year. So you thought that was still okay until it turned on you. And that's where I just go, like, I get it. That's why I say, well, I still get it. You're saying, look, you didn't think they'd ever do it to you. But you're also saying, but you were also happy for them to do it to everybody else. And in fact, you were actually helping them proactively to do it to other people.
And this is the thing. It's that part of it. That's why I don't, like, I'll take on board what he said and digest it, don't get me wrong, and take bits of it and maybe think, yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. But it was wishy-washy. I can't sit here and gospelly say that he was telling the whole truth, because less than 24 hours ago, you were sitting with her. Less than an hour ago, you was agreeing with the things that she was doing. Whether it's verbally, whether it's whatever it may be, you didn't stand up against her and say, this is morally wrong, your actions are morally wrong, until she did something to you.
Homophobic, racist, coming at them because of the fact that they're a woman, misogynistic. Do you know what I mean? Sexist. Regardless of how I feel about the person or what they've done, it is still not right for you to stand back and say, and do you know what I mean? Let people come for these people. And again, it's the TikTok merry-go-round of, now Angie's done something, so now everybody's going to talk about that. And now the people that everybody was standing with a day ago, everybody's now against because something's came out about him. And this is about her. This is about all those women that have lost. This is about the fact that people can use people's grief and loss against them to be cruel, to be horrible. Regardless of what he's done in this voice note, which is horrific, I get that. I've already had my say on that. That is why I don't follow him. That is why I don't like Rickster. But I will not allow someone to think it's okay to come on a platform and belittle somebody, regardless of whether you think it's true or not, due to losing a baby. Or belittle someone for infantile, do you know what I mean? Like an infant's death. I won't do it. Everybody needs to wake the fuck up on this app and actually see what's going on around you get your fucking blinkers off and look who's at the centre of everything that's going on just now. Who is it? Who is the centre chess piece in this game on TikTok? You all know who it is. But you're too busy getting caught up to actually see the bigger picture for what it is. And pick a fucking side. Jesus, stop going between, well, now that I've heard this, I can't, no. You stand on your ground and you stand what you believe in. And if you believe that it's okay for that to happen, for someone to be able to stand on a platform on social media and say the words that Evil Queen has said and play the songs that Evil Queen has played in relation to an infant's death, then you need to give your head a wobble. Nothing, James. Just everybody's now arguing amongst themselves. I'm just peed off. Because a voice clip came out about Rickster. Basically, a voice clip's come out about Rickster of him saying horrific things to his child, obviously, which he shouldn't say because it's disgusting. This came out months ago. This is why, one of the many reasons why I don't like Rickster. I think he's awful. Like, I think he's going to milk this for as much money as he can. Like he's milking Talia for as much money as he can. But what I'm trying to get across is, regardless of how you feel about them as people, what they've done and what they've said, you still can't allow the fact that someone has came on an app and came at them for losing a child, or the way that they've been like cruelly taunted. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not right. And I'll still stand by that. Sorry. Like, regardless of how much you don't like someone, there's still standards that people need to hold. Oh, sorry, mate. I need some flu tablets. And you... I was about to start singing Talia's song there. I've got such a sore leg. I'm okay, Sprouts. I'm gonna go get an early night, I think. But wait till 9 o'clock because there's meant to be more drama starting.
Just please don't ask us to rub you, okay? Because that's not part of my mod job.
Rub.
It really isn't.
Rub some Vicks on me.
No, really. I need to get paid for this. No, what's happened today over the past couple of days, I'll be honest with you, it's been so triggering. I just think on both parties, it just needs to stop now, because for me, coming on the app is not a place of happy or joy. I'm just getting triggered left, right and centre. You know, I lost, trigger warning, I lost 3 babies and I lost 2 back-to-back before I had my rainbow child. So the memories of them talking about it, her having to prove it, that she was pregnant, people playing songs, it's just absolutely disgusting. And they
Exactly.
just
And that's what I'm trying to say, like, no matter how you feel about her and him, like, if you, like, this is what I said as well, even though I, like, hate Evil Queen, I think she's one of the most disgusting, vile creatures to ever walk this earth, I still wouldn't allow, for instance, you to come up and be transphobic towards her, because that's not right. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Exactly. And this is
2
what I'm
wrongs
trying
don't make a right. It's about being kind in this world, and if we showed a little bit more empathy, a little bit more love, a little bit more understanding and a little bit more out of our own selves, in a sense of, you know, understanding other people, what they go through, their traumas, their experiences, because everybody's experience is different. If you just took yourself out and your personal grievances out and just looked at it in another lens, you'll see what's happening, and you can have empathy and understand that person. You know, just it's just honestly, it's so mind-boggling.
This is what I'm saying though. So now everybody's going at each other, and what is it achieving? These are all just deflecting away from the real issue. Who's the fucking centerpiece?
It's achieving hurt. What it's doing is achieving hurt for those that are watching. That's what it's achieving. It's not for themselves. I can't speak for them because I don't know what they're going through personally within their mental health, in a sense if they are getting affected or not. But I know that if you're trying to achieve anything, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch any of you talk about it, because you're affecting me. You're affecting so many people on this app. If you're being transphobic, if you're talking about losses of children, if you're being racist or whatever else, you're affecting so many people. So just be mindful. I understand that you have personal beef with each other, but take it off app. Does it need to be shown to the world? Do we need to prove that she was or if this person wasn't? No, we don't.
It's just, I just know what's going to happen on this roundabout of fucking TikTok. Let's face it.
We're just going to go around in circles. It's going to be a weak segment. It's going to affect so many people. And no one's thinking about anyone else.
There is also something else going on this app.
What?
If people want to see, sorry, I'm going to play the Laura video. So this is swearing shit, guys. Yeah. So taken away from all of those stupid dicks for a minute. So this is swearing shit who so this is I hate hearing my voice back. Kimball, which one did you send it to, my love? Sorry, I've got so many accounts. So basically Laura was on a live today, and she had, was it today? And she had someone pop up in her box, and I'll let her I'll let what she says speak for itself. This is the abuse that Laura Swearingship faces daily from these type of people. We've got the name of her as well. I think Kimbo did. Kimbo, are you in here? Oh no, yeah, I've got it. It's this one, isn't it?
You are embarrassing.
Throwing myself all over you, sorry. What is his name?
Have you read the comments about you?
I'm reading the comments right now.
Have you read the comments?
From where?
No, the comments where you're throwing yourself over and second day.
Throwing myself where?
With your big fucking Yorkshire accent. You are so classless. You're horrible.
Did you not hear what I said about classy people? Am I not for him, no?
That's how
Am I speaking to Mystique Met?
But you look like Sid the Sloth. I'm sorry.
I look like who?
Sorry guys, just a trigger warning in the comments as well. What is about to be said is just disgusting.
I'm really sorry, but you look like Sid.
I look like
look
Sid
him up.
the
You
Sloth.
are twins, mate. Twins, awful. You're gross. You belong on that
That's how I expect sloths to be, but I don't think I'm like that.
People should be.
I didn't say that part again.
Back to slavery, that's how I like it.
But
in case you didn't hear what she said back to slavery, that's how I like it. That's what she was exclaiming to Swearingship.
perfect, and we've got that on screen record. Back to sleep.
Hard labour, black girls.
What's that about black girls, please? Black girls what? Sorry, huh?
You're gross, you're dusty, your knees are crusty. You'll always be below us white. So get a grip.
Get a grip on what exactly, please? Pardon?
Oh, she couldn't finish. Did she say the end? Well, definitely.
Yeah. So that's the racial abuse that is still going on every day to swear and shit on this app. Somebody actually had the balls to come on an app and speak like that.
Did I? Sorry. I'm a little bit. I didn't really hear it earlier when you played it, so this is the first time you're actually hearing it. So as a black woman, I'm mixed race, obviously. Yeah, that's. I'm lost for words. We're
Like,
in
there is no words.
2025. We're literally in 2025.